Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, ice golfers take over Lakeville Lake. A chance to sign up for free yard work, and students' art is recognized with awards.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Less than a month after forming a real estate committee to find a new facility to house itself, the North Oakland Transportation Authority has agreed to purchase a 20,000 square foot building on Glaspie Street in the village of Oxford for $1.1 million. At over 2 acres of land, NOTA Director Lynn Gustafson believes the site is ideal because it offers easy access to M24 and is the center of NOTA's service area. NOTA provides publicly subsidized transportation for senior citizens, individuals with disabilities, and low-income folks living in Oxford, Addison, and Orion townships.
Every year, artists from middle and high schools across the state of Michigan enters class projects and portfolios into a Scholastic Art and Writing Awards competition, and this year, our students were honored at the Detroit Institute of Arts. Oxford Middle School 8th graders Ethan Fila, I hope I didn't mess that up, Raina St. Juliana, and Kaylee Wojcik received honorable mentions and a silver key. OMS 8th grader Anna Cordano Ridke and 9th grader Luke Farwell received the gold key, the competition's highest award. All of the honored arts of all Michigan students will be on exhibit at the Ford Building at the College of Creative Studies in Detroit through March 1st.
And also last week, the International Association of Firefighters distributed over 300 child ID kits to every kindergartner in the Oxford School District. Each kit allows parents to fingerprint their children, collect DNA samples, and record information such as eye and hair color, height and weight, and blood type. Union President Kevin Snell says the goal is to distribute kits to each new crop of kindergartners so every child will always be covered. To accomplish this, he needs to raise approximately $1,000 annually. Potential donors can reach Kevin Snell by sending an email to ksnel@oxfordfiredept.com. And for more information on the kits, visit www.childidprogram.com.
Who says people need lush green fairways and warm weather to play golf? Not the hardy souls of who bundled up last week to whack balls across the frozen surface of Lakeville Lake. 96 players divided into 24 teams participated in the annual Ice Golf Scramble sponsored by the Celtic Knot. Players used a combination of golf clubs and hockey sticks to drive and putt tennis balls around a 12-hole course. The $200 prize was awarded to the first place team led by Dan McQueen. The second, third, and fourth place teams each received $100. Good for you.
Now that's what I call tough golfers. Science Alive, a hands-on educational organization based in Waterford, visited Daniel Axford Elementary during last week, giving students a hands-on lesson on the importance of taking care of animals on our planet. William Neal, a biologist and her pet culturist, co-founder Science Alive in 1992, bringing a huge variety of live animals to schools.
Winter is far from over, but the Oxford Gives Back Committee is already planning spring cleanup. Homeowners in need of free yard work are being sought for OGB's 4th annual work weekend, which is scheduled for Saturday, April 27th and Sunday, April 28th. There are about 25 confirmed reservations so far, and the list keeps growing. It is open to homeowners in Oxford, Addison, and Orion Township, and anyone who is unable to do the yard work and cannot afford to hire someone to do it is eligible. Anyone interested in signing up for the program or nominating someone else is encouraged to either send an email to oxfordgivesback@gmail.com or call McClear at 248-605-0658. So that's 248-605-0658. Sponsorships are also welcomed at any time.
Just a few months after she published her first novel, Addison resident Iris Underwood picked up her first award for her fictional book, The Mantle. The award is from the Illumination Book Awards, who gave Underwood a silver medal in the inspirational romantic fiction category. Copies of The Mantle can be purchased online from the Seattle Book Company, and to find out more about Underwood, readers can visit her website, you'lloveitlavenderfarm.com.
All eyes were glued to the runway last week as 9 local women modeled a variety of outfits during the Share the Love fashion show held at Boulder Point Golf Club. The charity event to benefit local nonprofit Love in the Name of Christ netted over $7,000. Love Inc. is a North Oakland County program launched in 2007 to operate as a clearinghouse to serve as a contact point for people in need. Reverend Eric Johnson, pastor of King of Kings, says Love Inc. receives nearly 1,500 calls annually and meets 94% of the people's needs. Oxford's Boulevard Boutique provided all of the clothing and accessories modeled at the event. Congratulations on that great success. That's Oxford for you. We keep doing it.
Yeah, I think we do. And also, keep doing it. We've been doing most of our production out of here for the last couple of days.
Yeah, so we're in our new studio. It doesn't look any different, but we are in the new studio, and we invite everybody to come and see us, 2975 Seymour Lake Road. We're out at Parks and Rec's building that we added onto, so we're happy to be home.
Yep, and we have a lot of things in boxes and so forth, so if you'd like to pitch in and help, not a problem.
But we don't have any more noise in the background.
No more noise,
which is really
no,
nice.
no
We have very
disturbance.
quiet neighbors. That's
It
great.
is. One other thing I'd like to mention too, and that is Addison Township.
Yeah.
Those folks out there are going to have a cleanup program where they go around and they pick up all the trash. And by the way, there are people out there that dump trash in Addison Township. It's a beautiful area with the trees and so forth and the flowers. You don't want to make a mess out of something that's beautiful, and it takes quite a crew to pick up this mess that others have created.
It's so pretty out there. I can't believe people don't realize how pretty it is, and that they're certainly not adding to that.
Right.
What a shame.
It's not good neighborly to dump stuff in
it's
the
not.
ditches and the trees and bushes and so forth. And you might watch, for organized information that'll come out to you as to looking for volunteers to assist in the cleanup.
Yeah,
Pitch
we'll
in.
keep you updated on that. Also, keep an eye on Addison Township's website. Keep an eye on their meetings, which we air. And Rachel Baker, who does our community calendar, our weekly calendar, she'll probably have that in the calendar too. Golly, stop it, please.
Yep. Yep. But other than that, things are fine.
Yeah,
It's going
life is
well.
good. And that's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories or others, you can pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader, or better yet, catch us on our website. It is still OCCTV.org, or you can catch us on YouTube, and of course our regular channel, Spectrum 191 or AT&T Channel 99.
Coming up is OCTV's very own Cody Wright with School Sports, and next, School Around with incorporating great school topics with Alexis Ware. And you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles. Thanks for watching Oxford News this week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching, huh?
You are watching OCTV News at the news studio. Yay!
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, it costs more money to make Bitcoin than the cryptocurrency is worth. Producing a single Bitcoin now costs $4,060 on average. but it is valued at less than $3,500 according to an analysis by JP Morgan Chase. Bitcoin relies on volunteers to process transactions. Their computers race to solve a mathematical puzzle once every 10 minutes. Finding a solution processes a batch of transactions, and whoever gets there first is rewarded with some Bitcoin. Purchasing and running these computers is expensive. As more people join the race, the puzzles have become harder to solve, requiring more computer power. It's estimated that the Bitcoin network uses as much energy as Ireland. Bitcoin's price has tumbled in recent months from a high of nearly $20,000 in 2017. The result is that processing transactions is no longer profitable. However, this will probably cause people to drop out of the race, making it easier and more economically viable again. Wow. In our next story, that is, a pair of proteins could help regenerate amputated limbs. When applied to amputated toes, the proteins encourage both bone and joint growth in mice. Joints are structurally complex, so even for animals that can regrow their lost limbs, rarely can they generate their joints as well. Ken Minioka at Texas A&M University and his colleagues had previously regenerated bones in mice after they were amputated by treating the stump with a bone-growing protein called BMP2. But joint structures never formed. The team suspected that another bone-growing protein, BMP9, could be essential to joint building. So they tried applying the protein to mice that had had their toes amputated. After 3 days, over 60% of the stump bones formed a layer of cartilage as seen in joints at the end of the bones. The result was more effective when the team treated the wounds first with BMP2 and then BMP9 a week later. Not only did the bones regrow, they also formed more complex joint structures with more part of the new bones attached to them. Although the method does not produce yet a full toe. Our study is transformational, says Minioka. He suggests that experiments proves that even though mammals can't regenerate body parts, we have cells that know how to and what to grow. They can do it, they just don't do it. So we have to figure out what's constraining them, he says. Because human skeletal structure is very similar to that of a mouse, Minioka says he's optimistic that one day we'll be able to help amputees regrow their limbs. But, as you might expect, more studies are needed to be done before any trials in humans, he says. In our last story, gut bacteria seem to vary according to the blood groups in their host, but the reason for this is not yet clear. Your ABO blood type is determined by a type of sugar on the surface of your red blood cells. Type A individuals have a different sugar from type B individuals, while AB people have both sugars. O people, who are known as universal donors, have neither. These sugars are called antigens and helps you tell your immune system that your blood cells belong to you and shouldn't be attacked. If an A person were to accidentally get a transfusion of B blood, antibodies made by their immune system would react with the B sugar and flag those cells for destruction. Other parts of the body, including the intestines, carry these antigens too, prompting researchers to wonder if the bacteria that live in our body might as well. To see if our gut bacteria match our blood type, Jinhan Yin at Jinhan University in Guangzhou, China, and his colleagues took gut bacteria samples from 149 volunteers from across 4 blood type groups. The team found that blood type wasn't linked to any differences in the kinds of bacteria a person had. However, they noticed that bacteria seemed to be recognized by antibodies from different blood types in a similar way to when antibodies detect incompatible blood cells. This suggests that gut bacteria make sugars that match their host's blood type. We were very surprised to see this, says Yin. While some bacteria are already known to carry molecules that are similar to B antigens, this is the first indirect evidence that bacteria have sugars that can behave like A antigens too. We don't yet know how gut bacteria match their antigens to their host or why. It's possible that our gut bacteria may get protection by masking themselves to look more like their hosts, says Laura Cooling at the University of Michigan. We are just beginning to understand this symbiotic relationship, she says. Wow. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Hello everyone and welcome back to School News. This week is a tad bit different. Obviously I'm here with lovely ladies and a gentleman. They are on the
Winterfest court.
All right. And tell us what Winterfest is.
It's like homecoming but in the winter.
There you go. Okay, so what is the best part about running? Do you guys run or are you nominated?
We're nominated by our peers, so I think that means a lot just because that's what your other friends are thinking about, and it's not just what you do yourself. So this is all by your own friends and students and peers. So I think that's very special.
All right. I don't know if I'm blocking you. Hopefully not. But now it's a lot of seniors I saw. How many seniors were there that were nominated?
There's 4 couples of seniors that are nominated. Yeah.
And then what about for the rest of the grades?
I think there's 2 couples of juniors and then 1 of freshman and sophomore.
So the higher you go, the more that's nominated, right?
Yeah.
So now who won actually?
So Jillian Beal and JJ Baggins. So congratulations to them. Woo! We're so happy for them. They're great people. They're so friendly. So we're really excited that they won. Even though we lost, the basketball team won, so it's a win for everybody.
And the basketball team are doing phenomenal. They only lost 1 game this entire season, beating their record. Is there anything that you want to say to the boys basketball team to give them a boost of encouragement? I'm going to start with the guy here.
I don't know. I just think they're doing good and they should keep it up.
Yeah, same.
Well, my boyfriend, who was also on court, was on the basketball team, so glad to see the basketball team was represented. Grant Kornberger from the basketball team, so I don't want that one loss to get them down, so they need to keep going strong.
Exactly. And not only that, they're automatically through nationals, just solely based on how well they were doing this season. So you can't let that one loss get you down. Now, what can you say to the student body who comes out and supports the boys basketball team?
Honestly, this is the best turnout we probably had in a while, and I wish the students would come out for every game like this. I know it's hard in the week, but I just want to make sure more people come out to support the boys. I know they love when everybody comes, so.
And what about for the girls basketball games?
There's less people show up. I think the same support needs to be mimicked there.
I think that the girls basketball team just gets like a little underhyped, and I think I think they should rotate it more often, like 1 year guys, 1 year girls for Winterfest. Yeah, and I also just like want to shout out the band because I feel like the pep band, they also turn out in high numbers, and they do this like it's completely optional. They don't have to. They're not forced to come. So yeah, and they throw it together with whatever instruments show up. So shout out to them.
That is really interesting because I thought the entire band just came as a group or a band.
Definitely not the whole band.
But it's still nice to see that many people show up, and if it's optional, so that's really nice.
Well, thank you to the band members who did show up. You definitely did. Root on the boys basketball team today. And one last thing before we go, I heard that there is a teacher of the month or teacher of the year.
Miss Barnett.
Miss Barnett. She runs and like helps us run environmental club. So shout out to her for that.
I know all the students love Miss Barnett. She's always so much fun, upbeat. She's really realistic with the students. I think they like that a lot.
Yeah, I've never heard a bad thing about her. Everyone loves her.
Is this her first year here, or has she been here?
She's been here a good amount of years.
Yeah, but she's not that long because she's still younger.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Or at least she looks really young.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Yeah.
She's really good with connecting with students too.
Well, congratulations to you. And then right before we go, so OCTV just recently moved to a new building. So
Congratulations. That's
thank you. Can you join me in saying you're watching OCTV from the new studio?
You're watching OCTV from the new studio.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
What's going on, Wildcat fans? Cody Wright back here once again for this week's Sports Report. We are getting towards the end of this year's winter season, and before you know it, it will be starting like with sports like lacrosse, baseball, soccer, and a lot more. All that nice weather does sound good, but we still have some seasons to see through, and they should be exciting. So let's not waste any more time, and let's just dive right in. So first off, the boys varsity basketball team's winning streak came to an end here at home last Friday, taking on Ferndale. Like, by no means did we play poorly. We did struggle hitting our shots, and defensively Ferndale played fantastic. Both teams were solid on that end of the game. And at one point in the fourth, we had the score at 1 point deficit. Things just didn't go our way, and when two good teams play each other, that's the difference. Sophomore Zach Townsend did wow the crowd twice, though, throughout the night with a few dunks. For the moment, this did change the momentum, but hats off to Ferndale. They stayed solid the whole game. The final score of the night was 66-59. The boys' record is now 15-1. It's definitely nothing to hang your heads about. We also got back-to-back wins for the girls basketball team, whose record now sits at 8-4. The girls have played well this season, and although their accomplishments may have been overshadowed by the success of the boys, I want to make it clear that these girls have potential to take this playoff run into the dog days. We took on Farmington here at home first, taking the win by far, 43-27. Then we hit the road to take on Lake Orion and took their win 38-30. It's just about playoff time for these basketball teams as we finish up our season games in the next few weeks here. Be sure to make it out to these games and cheer on these athletes, though, as they play their last games in blue and gold. Also, the boys and girls bowling teams have both been crowned OAA Red Division champs. The girls beat Royal Oak and fell to Farmington Harrison in the semifinal round. And the boys got into the finals, beating Lake Orion and North Farmington, and then falling to Harrison in the final round as well. Harrison is the only team that has beat either boys or girls bowling teams this season. Now the boys' record is now 10-1, and the girls' record is 8-1, and both teams are set to continue on to the regionals on February 22nd, so we look forward to that. Now let's switch gears to the future of Oxford Athletics. This year we have quite a group of young men and women who will be moving on next year to play at a higher level. 9 athletes signed letters of intent last Friday to play college in their sports next season. Football player Evan Brunning, who was a huge force both offensively and defensively for us this season, committed to the University of Michigan's D1 Big Ten Conference football team. Now this is really a huge accomplishment, and we wish Evan the best of luck. He will be surely missed in our athletic program. He is a tremendous athlete. He plays both football and baseball here at Oxford. Also, Kiera Viljan will also be part of the Eastern Michigan's D1 diving program next fall. Austin Schlicht, another football player and wrestler, will be at Michigan Tech playing D2 football. He was a key player as a fullback and outsider linebacker this season. 2 Wildcats will be joining the D2 program as well at Northwood University. That is Chloe Allen playing softball and Keaton Cleveland playing golf. At Marietta College playing D3 lacrosse will be Caitlin Hill, and 2 more soon-to-be D3 athletes, Sam Barrett and Carson Otowski, will be playing football and baseball at Hope College. And lastly, Marcus Huffnagel will be playing football at Siena Heights University as well. It's safe to say that we are moving on some great athletes here at Oxford, and it shows here in our programs that they're doing so well this season. We definitely look forward to hearing these names in the future, and we certainly wish them the best of luck. And that's just going to about do it for this week's report. For more info on these events and more, go to oxfordathletics.org. There's plenty of game breakdowns, records, and statistics all right there for you to find. Once again, that is oxfordathletics.org. While you're at it, might as well check us out at OCCTV.org. All of our coverage of these events and more can be found on our YouTube page, which you can access through the website. Once again, that is OCCTV.org. I want to thank you all for watching and remind you all to tune in next time. But until then, I'm Cody Wright. Go Wildcats!
Recording. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, General Motors President Mark Reuss on February 5th announced the automaker will add 1,000 workers to build new heavy-duty pickup trucks at the Flint plant. Many of those employees, he said, during an event at the plant will come from 4 U.S. plants, including 2 Midwest assembly operations, where the company plans to end production in 2019. Reuss, following the event, said pretty much all those positions will be new jobs compared to simply filling open positions. The jobs announcement comes after the automaker has faced mounting pressure from the UAW politicians and the Canadian union Unifor for its plans to stop production at 5 North American factories and cut up to 15,000 jobs, including 5,900 hourly workers in North America. Reuss reiterated that the company has had to make difficult and tough decisions, but leaders feel now that when the company is healthy, it remains the right thing to do is to make such cuts. GM didn't definitely say whether it would close the U.S. plants, only that production would end and no products would be allocated to the sites. The company contractually has to negotiate closures with the UAW. The Canadian plant is set for closure by year end. And still at GM, the 2019 Chevrolet Blazer is entering a red-hot mid-size utility segment, but it's hauling some unwanted baggage. The resurrected SUV turned crossover is arriving at U.S. dealerships amid outcry from unions and politicians over General Motors' decision to import the vehicle from Mexico. Adding to the controversy is GM's plan to potentially close up to 4 U.S. plants and shutter Oshawa assembly in Canada by year-end. Much of the effort to boycott the Blazer and GM's Mexico-made products in general has come from the UAW and the Canadian union Unifor. Despite being assembled in Mexico, the Blazer is made with 54% U.S. and Canadian parts, according to the window stickers on dealer lots. Just 22% of its content comes from Mexico, in line with the Michigan-made Chevrolet Traverse crossover and less than the Chevrolet Trax made in South Korea and Equinox made in Canada. GM decided to build the Blazer at its Ramos Arizpe plant after ending production of the Cadillac SRX there and starting to build its replacement, the XT5 in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Steve Majoros, Chevrolet's marketing director for cars and crossovers, declined to comment on whether the company expects the Blazer's political baggage to reduce sales. The 5-passenger Blazer was designed in line with the recent updates to Chevrolet's lineup, but adapts a more aggressive, sculpted look. It features a prominent dual grille similar in shape to that of the freshened 2019 Camaro SS and sleek horizontal LED daytime running lights between the headlights. The vehicle is being offered in 4 trims, including the blacked out RS and chrome-trimmed Premier, starting at $29,995, including shipping. The top trims can top $50,000 with optional packages. 2 all-wheel drive systems are available on all V6 models. Lower trims offer a disconnecting single-clutch all-wheel drive system, while the RS and Premier feature a disconnecting twin-clutch rear-wheel drive module. Powering the front-wheel drive vehicle is a standard 2.5-liter inline-4 engine rated at 193 horsepower and 188 pound-feet of torque. A 3.6-liter V6 engine with cylinder deactivation is available and standard on higher trims with 305 horsepower and 269 pounds-feet of torque. Both direct-injected engines have stop-start technology and are paired with a 9-speed transmission. And on the recall front, Ford Motor Company is recalling 1.48 million previous generation F-150 pickups after 5 accidents linked to potentially faulty transmissions. The vehicles from the 2011 to 2013 models can downshift without warning, Ford said. The problem was related to a 2016 recall of more than 153,000 F-150 Expeditions, Mustangs, and Lincoln Navigators from the 2011 to 2012 model year. The affected pickups have 6-speed automatic transmissions that Ford said could experience an intermittent loss of the output speed sensor signal to the powertrain control module, leading to an unintended downshift into first gear. The pickups were built at Ford's Dearborn Assembly Plant from April 28, 2010 through October 28, 2013, and at the Kansas City Assembly Plant from May 18, 2010 through November 18, 2013. Federal safety regulators have been investigating for a year whether to expand the 2016 recall. As of January of 2018, NHTSA's Office of Defect Investigation said it had received 123 complaints of a problem, causing the vehicle to slow down suddenly without warning. Ford, on February 13th, issued a separate recall for about 28,200 2017 to 2019 Lincoln Continentals with faulty door latches. It is also recalling roughly 4,300 2019 Mustangs, Lincoln Navigators, and Lincoln Nautiluses with instrument panel clusters that might fail to turn on. In both cases, Ford said it was unaware of any injuries related to the defects. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways.